Many of us by now have heard the story of Robert the doll. However, some may not be aware of people's testimonies of their encounters with the doll. Many from around the world have said that unexplained things have happened to them after looking the doll in the eyes. They said that it was as if something entered their life that wasn't there before. People reported having such bad luck that it led to them writing to the doll, begging to be released from the curse. This doesn't prove that this doll is in fact haunted, but as many have pointed out, it's strange that so many people have encountered strange things after looking at the doll. The story of Robert the doll starts in the 1800s. This is when Thomas Otto and his family moved in their new house, which is located in Key West, Florida. It's now known as the Artist's House. The Otto family were known to be stern people, and it was even said they mistreated certain people in their life. It's said the mistreatment of one servant could be the root of what happened. A woman was hired by the family to look after their son Robert. It was reported at first that she was good at her job and actually got on well with the family. However, after a while things took a different turn, and the servant didn't like the way she was being treated. This made her despise the family. One of the ways she tried to get her own back was by teaching young Robert about dark magic. It was said she would pull him aside and try to teach him everything she knew. One day, however, the mother found out what the servant had been doing, and as you can imagine, this didn't go down well and she was fired. Before she left though, she wanted to leave one last thing with the family, and this came in the form of a doll. She gave it to Robert and went on her way. This doll was quite big, measuring over 3 feet tall and having buttons for eyes and human hair. It was shortly after receiving this that the family noticed mysterious things started to happen. Robert named this doll after himself, and the family picked up on the fact that he would spend a lot of time with the doll. Robert could be heard talking to the doll when he was by himself, and although it's not strange for kids to do this, the conversations he was having with the doll were reportedly dark. He could be overheard taking commands from the doll, and as the days went on he became more and more quiet, spending excessive amounts of time with the doll. Robert would also bring the doll on days out and to the dinner table to dine with his family. On some of the occasions his mother would tell him to put the doll down and be present at the table. However, he refused and said that Robert had to join him. Some of the neighbours even came forward and said that while the family was out they could see the doll moving in the window. The family didn't want to believe what they were saying and tried to ignore the claims. However, things inside the house weren't getting much better. Robert began spending even more time with the doll and began to worship it. This got to the point where his mother had enough and hid the doll in the attic. It stayed here for years until a new family moved in. Fast forward many years and the doll can now be found at the East Martello Museum in Key West. However, despite being moved here, strange things are still being reported. Staff who have worked at the museum over the years have said they've hated working the late shift, saying that when they're alone the doll will start to move. One cleaner said the following: "Going back a few years ago, I used to work at the museum as a cleaner. I enjoyed my job as working in the museum as it was something a little different. I'd never had any problems working here, and in the beginning I really enjoyed my job. This however quickly changed when one of the objects started to get to me. This was Robert the doll. Although I knew the history behind the doll, I never really believed it. It was one of the reasons why I accepted the job, because in my head I knew it wasn't real. However, my encounter with the doll soon changed my mind. As I was cleaning around his glass one night, I noticed that it changed positions. Its head was leaning over the other side of the glass. I tried to tell myself this wasn't anything to worry about, but then more things started to happen. On one particular night I could hear children laughing. At this point it was late in the evening and I was the only one in the building. So as you can imagine, it really freaked me out to be hearing this knowing I was the only one there. I tried to locate the noise but I couldn't find anything. That night when I went to clean Robert's glass, I could see that his feet were dusty. He was always clean because he was kept inside the glass, so I couldn't figure out how this had happened. Fast forward a week and something happened that made me want to quit. As I was cleaning, I could see my shadow being cast on a wall. All the hairs on my back stood up though when I saw a tall shadow standing behind me. I ran as fast as I could out of there and didn't even look back. Ever since then, I've always been sure that something is haunting that doll. Like I said, when I first started working there, I didn't believe in the paranormal. But ever since then, I really do believe that entities can inhabit objects. I've also never been back to the museum since. After reading about this person's encounter, some say that what the woman saw that night was a shadow person. The shadow people are described as being black masses. They can often be seen around objects that are said to be haunted, or in places where something bad has happened. One of the first things people say they feel when they see them is fear, and it's as if they drain all of the energy out of the room, and leave only darkness. Some have reported them as having glowing red eyes, while others say they have jet black eyes. It's not known what they want, but those who have seen them have said they think they're bad. Other people have seen them while trying to lucid dream. A lucid dream is a dream in which the person is not only aware they're dreaming, but can also control their dream. Some have expressed their doubts on whether this is real, but lucid dreaming is backed up by scientific studies. A 2009 study by the Neurological Laboratory in Frankfurt revealed increased brain activity during lucid dreams. Some people who have claimed to master this have said they can make any situation happen. However, there is another side to this. Many who have attempted to lucid dream have said that they've experienced something that has put them off it forever. Some describe it as the man in black, while others call it the boogeyman. It seems as if it's not done correct, lucid dreams can give you an incredibly bad nightmare. Some of these have even affected people weeks after the experience. Going back to the doll, other people have also had bad experiences. Another visitor said the following: "While visiting this place with some friends, something weird happened. After locating Robert, I immediately felt a dark presence come over me, as if all the energy had been drained. My friends laughed it off and said that it was nothing to worry about. However, for the next 2 weeks I felt very weak, and could see dark shadow figures everywhere I went. It sounds crazy, but I genuinely believe that during those few weeks something otherworldly was following me around." It's believed that if you see or want to take a picture of Robert, you must ask him politely. If you don't ask to look at him or take a photo, you will be cursed. Some that have taken photographs without asking have been played by an entity, saying that it won't leave them until they send Robert a letter apologising for what they've done. In fact, surrounding Robert are hundreds of letters from people who are asking for forgiveness. It seems that Robert the doll does have a dark history, and that witnesses will back up the fact that something is going on with the doll. Those who've studied the history of Robert have said that it all has to do with the servant, saying that she's the reason why the doll is the way it is. Other paranormal enthusiasts have put forward a different idea, saying that they think Robert himself is haunting the doll. Others, however, don't believe this theory, saying that the doll was talking to Robert when he was a kid, so it must have been haunted before he passed away. The theory that's most believed is that the servant placed some dark magic on the doll, and ever since doing this it's taken on a life of its own. As of right now, the doll can still be seen in the museum, and every year people still write to the doll in the hopes of being released from the curse. So what do you guys make of this? And do you think the curse is real? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.